don't count him out. I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, we could have a big upset, But I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul, in my opinion.
AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out?
This might be a step too far. Now, when I say it, I'm also, I try to be responsible. I've been in this game 50 years, so I know where not to step, where you could twist an ankle, or worse, you could break a leg or fall down.
If I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the f*** is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there.
Him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a bro-proser weighing in on the shocking Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua matchup, and opinions are sharply divided. Many boxing analysts believe Joshua's size, experience, and Olympic pedigree give him a massive advantage, predicting an early stoppage if he applies steady pressure. Others note Jake Paul's rapid improvement, disciplined training camps, and willingness to face bigger opponents, arguing he could steal rounds with movement and counters. Still, most professionals see Joshua as the overwhelming favorite, citing his power and ring IQ. Yet, the hype around Paul keeps the fight intriguing with fans eager to see whether he can defy expectations again. Tommy Fury sees the matchup as overwhelmingly one-sided because of the sheer size and pedigree gap. His perspective centers on the reality of heavyweight boxing. Elite heavyweights have developed their craft for decades, and their power is destructive on a level that lighter fighters, and especially novices, rarely understand. Fury believes the physical difference alone creates a fight that Jake Paul cannot win regardless of improvements or training discipline.
I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the f*** is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me two-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on. Like, you can't be serious. You can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I?
Derek Chisora focuses primarily on toughness and battle testing. As someone who has fought nearly every major heavyweight of the era, he evaluates Paul through the lens of ring savagery. In his mind, Jake Paul has never been pushed into deep, dangerous moments by elite heavyweights, and the brutal nature of the division leaves no room for experimenters. He sees the fight ending quickly and violently. From his perspective, the physical gap between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul is so vast that he cannot envision the fight extending beyond 5 rounds under any circumstances. Chisora believes Joshua's power, size, and established boxing foundation would overwhelm Paul early, long before the midway point of a scheduled bout. To him, the only real question is how Joshua finishes the fight, not whether Jake can survive deep into the later rounds. In Chisora's estimation, allowing the fight to go past 5 rounds would indicate Joshua severely underperformed or held back because the disparity in experience and natural heavyweight strength is too significant for the contest to last longer.
And I know you say it's entertainment and there'll be a massive audience, but is there an element of danger as well? Look, AJ's a former world champion, and this is a guy, the best he's been in with is Tommy Fury.
Listen, he don't really care. In the boxing ring, it's the only place you can murder somebody and not go to jail. So, kudos to that. So if he gets beaten up and something happens, it's part of the game.
Well, I'm not sure that's a game that people will want to see, though.
Is it a real fight, though? Is this going to be a proper fight? You will know more than most.
Mate, let me tell you something. From how much they're getting paid, about 177 million, whatever, and they're splitting it down the middle. So I hope it's not a game, because I want to see some blood. I want to see somebody's teeth falling out. So I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony. I was like, listen, I tell you what, I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's gonna be having a go at you because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. He has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are gonna be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in 1 round.
Yeah, and I think you're dead right. Is he worried about that? Is he worried about what happens, you know, if he doesn't see him off in the first round or the second round?
No, he's not worried about it. He's gonna smoke this guy out. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna smoke this guy out properly. I'll be there. He's gonna smoke him. I can't wait.
Theoretically, if he comes out swinging, right, AJ should be able to get it done in are we talking 30 seconds? If AJ is giving it everything he's got.
Listen, if AJ comes in there and just blows on this kid, he's gonna just drop him to the floor. So I don't really. I'm just wasting money going to Miami because I know it's gonna be finished in 1 round. So don't
Are you gonna go?
Joseph Parker's perspective is grounded in professionalism and consistency. He believes a fighter like Joshua, who has spent years training with world-class coaches and sparring with champions, possesses layers of technique that Jake Paul has not yet developed. Parker credits Jake's willingness to step into difficult fights, but views Joshua as too polished, physically imposing, and experienced to be troubled by someone so new to the sport.
Has said that he's interested in doing Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul.
Let's talk about fights that make sense. Jake Paul's doing whatever Jake Paul does. If Joshua's serious about wanting to stay in boxing and fight good, real fights, if that's what you want to do. I mean, if you want to go down this other road and do this, then that's by all means do it. But it's a different journey and it's a different pathway. I think as fighters who've been in the game for a long time, I want real fights. If I was given the opportunity to fight Jake Paul, would I take it? No.
Not even for the money, no.
No, like I want to be champion of the world. That's my goal.
Evander Holyfield assesses the fight based on mentality and conditioning. He respects Jake's fitness and desire to improve, but sees Joshua as too seasoned in long, grueling fights. Holyfield believes that endurance under heavyweight pressure, not just punching, makes Joshua nearly impossible for Jake to overcome. He also stresses how difficult it is to withstand the physical strength of a natural heavyweight.
I would love to see that myself. I would love to see that fight. Interesting.
Who do you lean towards?
You know, it's just gonna be. It would just be a good fight. It's a good fight, but you know, being the best. You know, because my whole thing, I don't want nobody to think I want somebody. I like boxing, and whoever wins.
David Benn Sr. has delivered a shocking assessment of the coming matchup, leaving fans stunned. According to him, Jake Paul is stepping into a level of danger he's never experienced, and the fight could expose the limits of his rapid rise in boxing. Benn Sr. believes Joshua's size, strength, and championship pedigree create a scenario where Jake risks serious damage if he's not extremely careful. He argues that Jake's confidence and power won't matter once he's facing a true heavyweight who has fought at the sport's highest level.
Don't count him out. You know, I think that's a very dangerous fight for Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, you know, we could have a big upset, you know. But I think that AJ is too much for Jake Paul at this point, and he's bigger than Jake Paul, in my opinion.
Do you think it's competitive? A lot of people are saying if AJ doesn't get him out of there in 2 rounds, it'll be a huge embarrassment.
I don't think that's not the case, that he's gonna get Jake Paul. At the end of the day, Jake Paul has been training hard too, and you know, he's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he would take him out in 2-3 rounds. I think maybe in the later rounds, or it might go to decision, you know, but I don't think that Jake Paul can take AJ out. I mean, or AJ could take Jake Paul. Maybe, you know, but I don't know. It's just going to be an exciting fight.
Roy Jones offered an unexpected perspective. He stressed the bout must make sense for Joshua both competitively and financially, calling Joshua a legitimate former world champion. Jones firmly stated, "Did you see what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? The same thing happens to Jake Paul. If you think someone who isn't a full-time boxer will beat Anthony Joshua, then you're crazy."
I want to change subjects just a little bit here. And Anthony Joshua, there's rumors circulating he could be fighting Jake Paul next. 1, do you think it's good for boxing? And 2, do you think the fight will happen?
I think it's great for boxing. I think the fight will happen. AJ is 1-0 against these guys that come in to these boxing careers late. So why not? He's a perfect guy to take him out too. He took Ngannou out. Why would he not take Jake Paul out? And for him, he probably make more money fighting Jake Paul than he will fight anybody else that he can fight right now. So why would he not do it? I mean, not that he needs the money right now anyway, but he's going to do something if he want to get a good win to put him back on the scene.
Lawrence Okolie has voiced serious concern over Jake Paul's showdown with Anthony Joshua, warning that it could pose a grave safety risk. Although Okolie once sparred with Paul and praised his dedication and mindset, he now believes entertaining a clash with AJ, who has elite power and technique, would be dangerously mismatched for Paul. Many boxing pros share this apprehension. Eddie Hearn called it dangerous, very dangerous, while Frank Warren labeled it a big given Joshua's physical advantage. Former world champion Amir Khan echoed the warnings, cautioning Paul that he could get killed in the ring with Joshua.
On this nonsense?
Where am I? I can't see it happening. I can't. Although yes, lots of money, so on and so forth. I can't see it. I just can't. It just obviously as someone who's been a unified heavyweight world champion going in against Jake Paul, it doesn't sit. Yeah, and it's like I'm also talking from a health and safety factor. It's like he's maybe a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
I think Joshua's a very big, strong heavyweight, and if he turns it on, it's not just a risk of a knockout. It's a much bigger risk. So I can't see it personally.
Who do you think will win? Jake Paul or Anthony Joshua?
Share your thoughts.